Yo, so I just finished training my Jett to 250 for 10k Legion, and it was pretty enjoyable. I think this is a pretty good class. My Legion level right now, after finishing Jett, and I've also started on Phantom a little bit because that's my next character, surprise. But my Legion level is 8621, so looking pretty good. My Jett is pretty strong in terms of Star Force compared to the other ones, but we'll talk about that a little bit later, honestly pretty soon. But first I'll go over the gear. About 16k stat on this thing, with Maple Warrior, which, do I not have that keybound? Is that not on my pets? Oh, I guess it isn't. Why did I have that? I guess it took off somehow. Anyways, with Maple Warrior, 17k stat. 19 Meso because I happened to roll it with honor and I wasn't trying to get that extra 1%. And yeah, these are the stats. I went pretty hard in Arcane Force because I wasn't too keen on doing any more Arcane Force dailies after I got 540. I leveled to 550 just by looting Arcana symbols. But anyways, yeah, that's the stats, and then we will go into my gear. And I got this ring just because I wanted the Star Force. I actually just found out how to get this ring, I think, when I was doing this character. I knew it existed, but I never really needed it, so I never really knew how to get it. But it's just an NLC questline for this ring, because I just wanted the Star Force, basically. But yeah, 12 star on some things, 17 on others. As you can see, I did quite a bit of 17 starring on this character. And yeah, I wanted to make him strong originally for a training rotation that I'm going to show you. But it's a really cool training rotation that you have to be pretty strong for. Originally, I was too weak for it, but then the FD change came out right at the end of when I was training this character, and I was actually strong enough to do the rotation after that. So I'll show you it. And honestly, I think it's pretty feasible now to make your character strong enough to do. Basically, you have to one-shot in an Arcana map with this skill, and which is not too easy to do, but it's also not too hard. And I never got Abso drops for my boot and gloves, so I'm rocking these. And I also never got an Abso shoulder. This character, if you're just going to train it with Planet Buster, you do not need to fund this thing at all. Mine is way overfunded. But if you want to train with this, which is pretty fun, then you can fund it a little bit more. To around these stats is probably like going to be the bare minimum, or close to the bare minimum, for one-shotting with this skill. But yeah, so we will go into, I think this character costed me 18 bill for all these items together, all the star forcing and all the cubing, and I made 39.7 bill, so about a 20 bill profit there, which is pretty good, better than my Hayato. My Hayato costed less, but it also made about like 10 bill less, so felt good to make some more money off this guy. And in terms of droplets, I got 82. Didn't get any purple droplets because I did basically no farming past Arcana. Not even any dailies. Let me see what my... Yeah, I have a level 3 Asphera symbol, so there was really a low chance for me to get any Asphera droplets whatsoever. And then I have my Nodestones gained, which was 916. Pretty good. I'm definitely running a Nodestone deficit on these characters, so I'm trying to be more thankful for my Nodestones. I've kind of been neglecting them, taking them for granted, but I don't think I'll ever run out, but there's a chance that I run out, so. Nice to count the Nodestones as well, I guess. Doesn't really help. But speaking of Nodestones, I can show you my nodes. HS, obviously, the nodes I boosted were the Vortex Cross, Planet Buster, and Backup Beatdown. You don't really need to boost Backup Beatdown for training, but the Vortex Cross, Planet Buster are definitely necessary for training. Vortex Cross, honestly, isn't really necessary unless you're doing the dash farming like this. That's this skill. But Another skill that's good for training is falling stars / turret deployment, because that is your little turret that shoots things, and it's pretty good if you boost it. It does a decent amount of damage. And then Singularity Shock is a bossing skill, Backup Beatdown is a bossing skill, and Starforce Salvo is a bossing skill. And I boosted those as well, just because. But for training, you mainly want Planet Buster, and then you want Falling Star Turret Deployment, and then you want Vortex Cross, in order of importance, I would say. This skill, Suborbital Strike, you do want to max, because it increases the duration of your summon. So this skill is actually 100 second uptime and 180 second downtime, but that uptime keeps going up as you level it. So it starts off at like, I don't know, 30 or 40 seconds or something. But it's over 50% uptime if you level it, and it's a really good mobbing skill, so definitely max this if you can. This doesn't really matter, it just gives attack. This is a bossing skill, you can level it if you want. I just use the nodes I have. This is a mobbing skill, but it doesn't need to be very highly noted to kill. And also, leveling it further doesn't really increase the amount of cooldown or anything like that. So we don't need to level that. And this skill, you can level. I didn't really use it too much. I'll show you what it does when we're training, but it really doesn't do that much. And yeah, those are my notes. I got leveled these as well, but again, doesn't really matter. I'm mainly just focused on the training side of things. And then for my familiar, I had I think a spider, which is pretty normal for me. Oh, I can't actually see the world map in here. I came here because it's a Jett lore map, so I figured we'd start here, but I can't actually access the world map from here. So, for training, all my rotations are basically the same. I'm just going to go over them very briefly because I don't think it's, I don't think you gain too much from this, except for the last rotation. The last rotation is pretty cool. And I would like to go a little bit more in depth on that. But this rotation, I need to get a totem. Did I not buy one yet? I'll be right back. Alright, so we have our totem. Let's put that on 3, I guess. And so yeah, this map, just jump through it and then teleport back. Very simple. You can also do this in Eastern Cape Path 2, which is this map. Just do it in reverse, right to left instead of left to right. And then depending on what boost nodes you have, just use this on cooldown, Suborbital Strike, put down your turret if it's strong enough to do any damage. I don't really find, maybe if there was a place to put down your turret, it would be like here, but I don't think it matters too much. And yeah, you just kill, and I'm gonna have to right click this, which is sad because it has 120 seconds of duration left. You can see it's such or just 100 seconds, but it's such a long lasting skill, so it's actually super good. T-Boys Train 1, that's where I came. I think I put my summon up here and then just jump back and forth on the ground. Very easy. And this skill, this Planet Buster, does so much damage. It is absolutely ridiculous. So that's why you don't need like any funding for Jett. But next one, I don't think I actually went here. I think I went to Choo Choo, but I definitely would go here in the future. Oh, someone was killing an E-Boss. Let's see. This map is from like 210 to 215, or honestly, whenever you get the Arcane Force, or whenever you can kill here, I would go here. I would not go to Choo Choo. This Choo Choo is just terrible. But yeah, this map, just put your summon up there, and just go back and forth on the ground here, killing. Pretty simple. Whenever you node in this skill, I can use this as a loot timer, so I'll put this down somewhere. I'll go loot all my Meso, and then I'll keep killing. Yeah, and since it's 120 second cooldown, that's why I use this as a loot timer. Don't forget to cast your dice, by the way. Make sure those are set to 6 so you get that bonus XP. Let's go next. I skipped Choo Choo, but when I did go to Choo Choo, honestly, I don't even remember where I went. Do not go to Choo Choo, it's being terrible. Hidden Iliad, next, you go back and forth, same thing. If there's someone here, I won't even, yeah. You basically just go back and forth on this map, and you can do it from the bottom. It's very self-explanatory. I'm not even gonna, I guess I'll kill this E-Boss. backup beatdown, super good to kill E-bosses with. And singularity shock. Very good, very good. And then you get to fly around in this car during the reward stage, which is definitely a bonus. Then I went to Rev 3. Rev 3 is more of the same. There's someone here, but you literally just go back and forth. And you can put your turret up here, or, whoops, I accidentally attacked, up here on the house. So yeah, either or. Then I got to Arcana. When I was in early Arcana, I went to Earth Spirits. I put my turret right up here. Again, I'm just not showing the training because I really don't think it's that different. But I put my turret right at the top there where my mouse is, and then you just go back and forth, cast this off cooldown, use Gravity Crush as your loot timer, and you're good. And then I went to LP1, which was the map that I remained until 249, which is when the FD changes came through, and we got a lot stronger. Now, I could have gone to other maps instead of LP1, and in fact, I did, and they were better XP. Like, I tried this map in Morass. I believe it was Abandoned Area 3? It was one of the abandoned areas. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But I tried one of them, and it was, like, better XP by, not a lot, but a noticeable amount. But I didn't go there. I didn't swap, and that's because I just like how lazy this map is. I put my turret on either side, and I just jump back and forth, and it's very relaxing, very easy, very chill. So whenever I got bored of this, I would go to maybe that Morass map or maybe an Asphera map, something maybe more within my level range, because you do get that bonus XP when you're within one level. But when I was lazy and tired and bored, which is most of the time, I would just come here because it was just way easier for me. Next map I went to, and this is at 249, but you can definitely go to it earlier. It's just they made the FD change at 249, so it was when I could actually start one-shotting. Okay, and I'm gonna need to use my guild skills because I don't have link skills on this guy right now. I don't want to swap them, but the guild skills should make me kill. Let's see, is there anything else I can use that would make me kill that I don't have to actually change anything over? Let's see, I need to juice up a little bit. Oh yeah, and for this map, you want to use a green potion. So I'm going to use it here. And I'm still not quite one-shotting. I don't want to have to switch over link skills, man. But I think I have to. Alright, let's just put over a couple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's this one? This is a new Lara one. Sorry, I haven't... Okay, I don't think that one's super great. Yeah, this should be enough. Okay. There we go. So we're one-shotting with the dash. And you can see it... So these are kind of maybe around 8 to 10 mil range is the stats you need. And then I also have the crit damage link on, so maybe a little bit higher than that. But either way, however you end up being able to one-shot this, it's a pretty cool rotation that you can do here. So honestly, I just put my turret down wherever. And then the important thing to notice when I'm doing this rotation is you cannot hold down the dash key. You have to mash it, which is kind of annoying. My dash key is normally on shift, but I moved it to S when I did this rotation just because it was easier to press. I didn't want to be mashing a key with my pinky. And yeah, you just literally jump around, and then you're still using the same skills, like this on cooldown. This even just on cooldown. I mean, you use it on cooldown as a loot timer anyways, but you don't really need a loot timer for this map because you're just constantly looting. But yeah, this is a pretty fun rotation. It is better XP than LP. Whoops, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. It is better XP than LP2 or LP1 if you one-shot here. So definitely would recommend. But yeah, I just really like this rotation. I think it's super fun, and it is a nice change from... I wish that I was able to do it earlier, but I couldn't because I was too weak. But yeah, this is... this is very fun. I was sad that I was only able to do it 249 because I would have liked to do it a little bit more. But yeah, Another thing you might have heard, and this is just an aside. Oh yeah, actually, I'll show you what it looks like when you're just holding the key instead of pressing it. So if you're not holding the key, or if you're just holding the key instead of like spam clicking it, this is what it'll look like, and doesn't really matter that much, but the important part is you get stuck. Like, it's a little bit slower, which isn't that big a deal, but you get stuck here. While if you're mashing, you don't get stuck. So that's the difference, if you do want to try this rotation out for yourself. Just keep that in mind. And then just use this skill. And yeah. One thing you may have heard people say about Jett, and this was true until recently. Let me see if I can go back to LP1 to show this. Okay, good. And I'm going to cancel. Okay, they're already canceled. The one thing you may have heard people say about Jett is this skill, this Planet Buster, is really good, but it only hits 7 mobs max. And that used to be true, but while I was training this class, they actually buffed the mob count to, I believe you can hit 11 now. Yeah, max enemies hit 10, and then the boost node gives you 1 extra target, so 11, which is really good. Because in a map like this, like, you can see how many 10 multi-kills I'm getting, or like multi-kills higher than 7. You were pretty limited by the mob count of this skill before, but now that it hits 11, it's honestly not even an issue. It's a great change they made, and right when I started playing this class, like, I trained a tiny bit in LP1, and then they buffed the mob count on this skill, so I was very happy with that. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. If you hear people say their mobbing is annoying, I think their mobbing is actually very, very good now. And just taking all that into consideration for my tier list, which is where I'm going to put them. So again, my tier list is based on my personal enjoyment, takes into account mobbing and bossing. I'll start with mobbing. Jett is really fun to mob with, really good at mobbing. The one gripe I have with them is sometimes for their flash jump, you have to be holding a direction. If you're not holding a direction when you flash jump, this is what happens. So sometimes I'll like to, if I'm like scratching my nose or something, I'll take my hand off the arrow keys, and I'll just want to be able to flash jump and attack and have it propel me forward like this. But you actually have to have both hands on the keyboard for Jett, it's pretty annoying for me, especially in like the longer term. I could see it me not liking it more. But other than that, I really don't have a complaint with this class. They have a good summon with this thing. This skill is super strong, super easy to one-shot with, which is very relevant in Cernium and higher maps where the mobs have more HP, but it's very easy to kill with. You do a whole bunch of damage, and it hits 10 enemies, so it doesn't really have a limiting mob factor. This skill is amazing. This skill is okay. It works great as a loot timer. And yeah, for mobbing. And then they also have the dice, which makes them level faster. Oh yeah, and I said I was going to show this skill, but I didn't. Let's see if I can just go in here and show it. Just go to the next map. I honestly don't know of a use for this skill, but you just press it and it attacks like a bunch of people. There are probably some situations where it'd be better to press this skill, and it has like a, what's the cooldown? 6 seconds. So yeah, there are probably some situations where it'd be better to cast this skill than casting Planet Buster, but I think they're like very far and few between, so I just don't even bother. So that's all there is with that skill, but it is good for bossing, which brings me into the bossing. This class is a very good bosser, very, very, very strong. They do a whole bunch of damage, insane amount of damage on this class. I think they're probably, as the time of making this video, I would say they're top 5 in the game for bossing, just in terms of like how good they are at bossing. I think they're an amazing bosser, at least top 10. Their car skill, this car skill is so overloaded. Mine isn't maxed. I'm not even sure how much FD it gives at max level, but I think it scales. But you're in this car, you get like 5 HP bars, so you basically cannot die. You're invincible almost for the next like 45 seconds or whatever it is at max rank. And the mobility is amazing on this car. You get a whole bunch of final damage, and you can use all your skills in it. Well, most of your skills, the important ones. And yeah, Jett is just such a good bosser. They feel great to boss with. this skill is also very good. Jett has just, they're one of those classes that was bad, and then they just got buffed and buffed and buffed and buffed, and now they are so terrifyingly strong. And honestly, GMS classes almost, it feels like they never get nerfed, like Hayato, Kana, Jett. So maybe Jett will just keep getting stronger. But either way, I'm not sure. But either way, taking into account mobbing and bossing, really fun class. I really liked it. On my tier list of 250 characters, I would have to give Jett an A tier. Yeah, it was really fun to play, fun to mob and boss with. I might even turn this character into a boss meal, which I don't normally do for my 250s because it's just too much work. But I might like recube some of his drop gear and Mesa gear into damage gear just to make bosses a little bit easier. And I might have to finish off that Absolab set, I suppose, if I actually do end up converting him. But yeah, thank you for watching. I already said at the start of the video, but the next character is going to be Phantom. And I hope to see you around in the next video, or check out my stream, which I stream semi-regularly at twitch.tv/Fujay, where you might catch me training the Phantom. But yeah, thanks again, and until next time, take care.